I definitely think we could be the community that creates a base for this on Whatnot. And like we can generate this demand just by providing content. And this is something I know very much about, is just making content. And that's what the proposal is here, is that you guys would be creating content with your laser machines to bring that community and those consumers to this established platform that's in the middle of being really successful right now. Hey guys, it's Alex over Laser Everything. Welcome to our live stream. You're listening to the Laser Source Podcast, the #1 podcast if you love potatoes. We've got 3 of them right here for you. And
David Spuds.
We've got something really fun to talk to you guys about. And guess what? It's a way to make money. I know you guys like making money. And so we're going to talk about making money today. Matt stumbled onto a thing, and we've all kind of been obsessed with it for like 2 or 3 days now, and we've gotten to dip our toes in, so to speak. Matt, why don't you tell us about what you ran into?
So literally, in my town, there's a card shop that I take my kids to all the time. And lately, when I go in there, they've got like 3 or 4 employees, and 2 of them are in the back, like shouting and like putting on like a whole show. And I kind of walked back, and I looked at the guy who owns the shop, Mark, and I'm like, "Can I, like, what's this?" And he's like, "Yeah, go look." And these guys had their cell phones shooting down into their hands, and they're opening card packs, and they're kind of going nuts on it. And they're selling stuff. I said, "What's this about?" And he's like, "Well, it's a program, an app, and they're doing more in sales on this app than like the store does in like 2 or 3 days. They're doing it in a couple hours." Because, my town is like 40,000 people big, and then there's the world, right? So I was like, "What's it called?" And he said, "Oh, it's called Whatnot." So I downloaded the app just to see what it was about. And basically, it's a huge seller's platform, and also a buying platform. So if you're interested in like a hobby, you can go on there and find the stuff that you like. And you can search by hobby. You can search by like sports. You can do all kinds of stuff. Like, it's just really, really cool. And so what ends up happening is you get onto it as a buyer, and you can be parts of streams, kind of like this right here. And I kind of got on a few of those looking at some stuff, and I was like, man, I wonder if they got laser engraved stuff. So I literally just spent a few minutes looking around. They have laser engraved stuff. They've got CNC woodworking stuff. So literally you can be doing a live stream of what you're working on in your shop while you're selling the products that you're working on too. So it was really cool. And I told Alex and Kyle, I was like, this just seems like such an easy opportunity for someone, because all you need is your phone and your laser, like this is a super easy thing to do. So for the last couple of days, and Alex, I think, is pulling it up here, it's kind of hard to do all of that with the laser. So I was like, hey, we should work on that with like the Pokemon cards that you've got with the channel that you've got with the Pokemon Archivist, and kind of take a look. And that's where Alex can kind of take it away.
Thank you. So this is kind of like our test account that we've been messing around with just to learn the platform and stuff. And the next step will be to take this to lasers. There is a little bit of a process to get started. So in order to sell on this platform, you actually have to like jump through kind of a lot of hoops. So you have to apply first. Yeah, so they're going to want to see your social media. They're going to ask to see like your website. They want to know about what you're selling and what kind of services that you're offering. So you'll have to answer those questions and submit the application. And then once that's approved, you actually have to go through an onboarding process and sit through like a 45-minute webinar to kind of learn the ropes.
That was wild, by the way.
Yeah, so go ahead, share some thoughts about it before we dig into the rest of the site.
So what ended up happening today, and it was funny because Alex was like, and again, the reason we're showing you this is because this is a really cool way for you to show. Like, I think about, like, if I'm looking through here, Richie, who just said, thanks for the reply, talking about the marketplace. This is just one more place for you to be able to like sell items, right? Laura, who does awesome wraps on her 40-ounce tumblers, which she's been sending me cool pictures of those. Vinny, who makes coins. Like, there's just so many people and so many things that you guys can sell. And this is one more cool place to go, right? And it's also a cool place for you, like, where we can work together to build up a community there around each other. So that's one of those things where what's really cool is in the onboarding thing. So Alex signed up, and I'm like, dude, when you sign up, let me know. I'll follow your page. And when he signed up for a seller's account, he's like, so tomorrow I have a 45-minute phone call that I have to sit through.
Yeah.
It's an onboarding call. So think about places like Etsy that do nothing to help you actually get ready to sell your products. It was wild. Like, Alex patched me in on a Discord call so I could kind of hear and see what was going on. And for 45 minutes, we sat there, and like some 22-year-old kid led us through how he had gone to like 8,000 followers and had sold over, I think, 5,000 or 6,000 things on their website.
Yeah.
So pretty interesting information in there. I mean, you want me to just go over all of it?
If you want to hit the, like, you know,
the high points.
Spark notes, yeah.
So the Spark notes. So basically what ends up happening is when you go in there, they kind of show you the ropes of like how they want you to, like, how can you be successful? Like, so take a look at the screen that Alex has in front of him. It kind of helps to create some for you stuff. So based off what you sell and what you want to buy and your interest, it basically will kind of populate this thing for you. And if you can look at this, there's some of these that stand out as really cool, and I want to click on them. They're click worthy. So they kind of taught you a little bit of that sort of thing, like how to make cool thumbnails for your videos. Yeah. They talked about scheduling them, and they did actually go over their cost breakdown, which was about 12% is what's coming out off the top.
It was. So, I remember we compared with eBay. It was like
pretty
a percentage point less than eBay.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where you're gonna have to like bump up your price a little bit, but at the same time, if you could sell in bulk, you know, hey. Yeah. The other thing is they covered shipping was another huge thing. They expect you to ship within 2 days. So if I were to make a coin and I had it at the end of my live stream, I have 48 hours from the purchase of that product during my stream to put it into a baggie and mail it. But the cool thing is they cover the mailing costs. So you set up the mailing ahead of time with them, the process. And when people purchase it, that's what's really cool is purchasing is integrated in. So if you're a buyer, you're watching the stream. Like right now, if we had shirts for sale, you know, it would literally just be sitting there underneath us and you can purchase it right then and there, which is really cool. And you can look right there. It says products and he's got the singles right there.
Yeah. So he's got 775 available and he's literally showing these cards. And again, my kind of side hobby, if you guys don't know this, I collect Pokemon cards. And so this is my Pokemon card seller platform to get rid of my doubles and stuff. That's what we decided to use to test this out. But it easily translates to laser. So this guy is selling one of these cards for $1. And so the card goes up and people are actually bidding. So you can see here, he's doing an auction style here.
By the way, if you've got a Stanley, like, look, here's Laura is talking about how it took her 5 hours one day to teach herself how to do a full wrap. So imagine if you put Stanley full wrap cups. Like, people are going nuts over these Stanleys. Like, they fought each other at Target for the red Stanley cup. And if you've got one that's fully engraved, you could literally you have to have a top end bid is one of the things we found out. So what ends up happening is there's like a buy now price and people can just snatch it up. But the other thing is anything below that, you have like a reserve price. So like, let's say you wanted to sell it for $100, but somebody could snatch it for $150. Anywhere in between that bidding could happen and they could take that item away. So
yeah. And so cool. Again, just to show you guys too, there's space on this platform for you. So if I just type in Pokemon cards again, because it's a good example and it's a saturated market, like we get all of this is all Pokemon cards, and then laser engraved, I'll even say, and there's 2 scheduled shows and a bunch of static listings, and nobody's really doing live streams with this kind of stuff. And we've looked into it a little bit, and the stuff is selling, but nobody is using what the platform is here for, which is streaming. It's here for you to be able to stream and sell your things live. And just that ability, I think, is so cool to be able to just like literally throw a webcam on your laser and show people the process behind what you're
and be able
making.
to answer questions too. Like so many times it's like, could you make this with my kids' names on it?
Yeah.
They can ask it and you can say yes, and they, bam, there's a sale.
There's so much. I mean, we haven't even really sat and had the conversation yet about what
Like
you could even
application.
do with this, but like you could literally sell a bunch of tumblers in advance, and then people can like give you the names, and then you can make their tumblers like live while they're watching and sell more.
Like, here's a good example, by the way, that I made this for my friends. So I made this cup a long time ago for friends of mine who play Modern Warfare 2. Like, we basically just played. So I made these at Christmas time, and it says Gulag Champ, which, by the way, is kind of funny because Gulag is, you only go there when you die. So it means you're shitty, shitty at the game. But you can make your way out by fighting people. So you could have this design, and then what you're doing is you pre-made this cup, and then on the back, you put Matt, and that's what Alex is talking about. And so people are like, wow, they just did that so fast, or wow, that was so cool watching the rotary work. And then you're selling more cups.
Yeah. And there's none of that here right now. I mean, virtually there, again, we've seen a couple examples, but the market is really open for this right now. It's like prime for it. And whatnot's relatively new too. It's like, from what I've seen and can tell, like 2 years ish. It's been like really kind of like mainstream, and there's just not a lot here yet. And there's, I think, so much space. I mean, if you guys are on TikTok at all, and I know not everybody is, but if you are, the TikTok lives that people do to sell their products on TikTok Shop are immensely popular. They're immensely popular, and a huge chunk of those are people that are like making something that is actively being sold to people in chat. And this platform facilitates that. And it's not like there aren't any buyers. I mean, like this one, and again, we're using cards here as an example, so this is going to be a little inflated, but like this one streamer here has 512 people watching their stream right now. And all they're doing is showcasing their products and selling them to people and making money.
You know what's really cool, by the way? I think a lot of people don't like to. I just looked it up online. It was founded in 2019. This is how new this is. Like, we didn't even like have time to research all this stuff. It said it was founded in 2019 in Los Angeles, and it's Los Angeles based. So TikTok Shop, which is Chinese, and a lot of people don't want to give China their social, their banking information, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
this could be a game changer for you. Especially think about hats. Like all the people who are making hats right now, and on TikTok, I think people are, thousands and thousands of people are buying those off of what they see. So just saying.
Yeah,
another thing you could do.
100%. What about you, Kyle? Do you have any insights on what you've seen with this so far today? Because you've been around for it. I mean, we did a test stream ourselves earlier today and got to experiment with it a bit.
Turns out I've been familiar with this platform for a while and didn't realize it. So you guys may not know this, but my girlfriend, it's our anniversary, so happy anniversary, dear.
Hi, Courtney.
She worked at a card shop, a gaming store combo thing for a couple of years, and they actually got some traction through this, as well as some of the people that they know through the industry. So apparently, a lot of card shops will actually sell cards through this platform, and especially when they're quiet, they can just pop a live stream up and try and build traction through the live stream to get sales during their downtime, especially if they have like two people in the shop. So one person can handle anybody who just happens to walk in.
Yeah.
So turns out I am a little familiar with it, but not super familiar, nothing firsthand. There is some credence to you can be successful through this. Just depends on how you market it and what you want to do.
Oh, look at this. Lightspeed said, what not so popular that eBay, Postmark, and other platforms are playing catch up. And that's what's so funny is this is like such an under the radar thing for, I feel like most of the people watching. Like right now we got 77 people watching. how many, I'm wondering how many of you guys have used this or have you seen this?
Yeah, if you've used this before, let us know in chat. I'm really curious how many people know about Whatnot, because I literally, until Matt brought this to my attention, I'm not kidding, 3 days ago, I never heard of this. I mean, never.
And he literally is like, he's like, who the hell's using this thing? Like 10 people?
Yeah,
Like, not like 10 million.
I was like, what are these 10-year-olds to get? It's bizarre,
Just
dude.
old
But
curmudgeon.
yeah, I mean, there's so much that you guys. I mean, you guys can make this stuff, and it just seems so easy.
All right, so we got a couple of questions here that I just kind of starred. So the question that people are asking is, what is the actual platform? And if you look in the corner of Alex's screen where it says Whatnot, that's it. It's whatnot.com.
Yep.
The cool thing is they have a desktop app, which is what we use today. The other nice thing is you can have friends help moderate your chat. So it's literally like you're setting up your own QVC would be like the best way to explain it in a way that like that's
a really good way of phrasing
I just
it,
dated
actually.
myself, by the way, because I'm like, it's QVC, but for your phone.
Yeah, but it's not jewelry.
So it's whatnot.com, and you sign up if you wanted to. So,
I just want to see people's like streaming setups that they come up with.
Well, and that's it. So that's where Anthony had said, I've seen people tuning into it, but what's the extent of it? So you can go in deep on this. You could go hardcore and set up multiple cameras. Like Alex today had what? What was your setup today?
I had three cameras going. I was trying to pull up. So one of our questions that we had earlier was whether or not you could rewatch the old streams, and you can, but I can only figure out how to do it on mobile. On desktop, it just doesn't let me like click to play this for some reason.
And that's actually a good point. This is made for your phone. And what's awesome is when you're a buyer, you sign up. Your purchases are integrated. So literally, you sign up, and it's like enter your payment information. So every person who's watching your stream, potentially, like probably the majority of people had put in their payment information. So if they like what they see, guess what they can immediately do?
Yeah, I think I'm
during your live stream. They go buy it, and it's it.
I'm gonna sign into StreamYard on my phone and see if I can just present my screen that way, because that might be a little easier for you guys to see.
I'm gonna dodge into some questions while you do that.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
Never heard of the app. That's why we're talking about it, because a lot of people haven't heard about it. When it started, they were struggling. Then they added clothing categories, and it took off. That makes sense. Or says, I have 0 cameras, but you have a phone, right?
Yeah, and that's all you need is the phone. They literally made it for phone users, so you can pop it up in front of you and go to town.
Yep. You just point your phone at stuff, and you can see chat right on your phone. James posted a question. Did they pay you to do a promotion for this?
Nope.
No, we're not getting paid. We just want to share a cool platform that we think might generate sales for the people in our community that offer things for sale. Yep. It may be a way to gather a following and get people to come back for repeat business through you directly.
Yep.
We apparently have a referral link that we didn't know we had until about 80 seconds into the podcast tonight.
Matt and I knew earlier today, but I forgot to like integrate it into
like actually knowing things.
Yeah, the stuff we were talking about.
Well,
there you go. There's your answer. So no, it's not a paid promotion. No, we're not getting paid for that. If we were to ever get paid to do an advertisement, because that's what that is, we would disclose it, because we're against being shady.
Yeah.
We're very upfront about stuff like that.
Even if we liked being shady, Miranda would never allow it. So
we followed the rules, and we're also just, we don't like being skeevy. So
Toby asked, what was the hidden fixture in the thumbnail? So like, what's hidden behind the Whatnot?
The hidden.
Yeah, there's literally
you have the HD fixture plate in the background, I think.
Like where your hands are, like
thumbnail.
where you had to Photoshop your hands to make it look like you were putting a Whatnot in there.
Oh, was it? Yes, that's because it's a modified screenshot I took from the coin engraving stream. And I like put the Whatnot logo into it.
He was so mad about that the entire time he was making it. He's like, this looks like poop. I was like, it looks fine. Nobody cares.
I did spend too long on that.
All right.
Yeah. Well,
So, anyways, yeah, no, this literally was brought to all the staff's attention who knows about it because I was in the card shop and I just was really interested in it. And my first thought was like, man, I feel like I could make money doing this. And when I showed Alex, he's like, this is what, like, I showed him yesterday. I think it was like at 4 in the afternoon. Like I was getting ready to head out for the afternoon.
Yeah.
And I come back at night for a little bit to work some more. And he literally was like, well, that's what we're talking about tomorrow. And I said, no. He goes,
Yeah.
why? He's like, you afraid of the competition? I was like, yes. There are way more talented freaking laser people out there than me. And then he's like, well, sucks to be you then. And I was like, all right, that's fine.
That did happen. Yeah. And I
don't mind. You guys are damn sharp, dude. You guys should absolutely be building up a community around yourself. So like, let's say Laura is someone who we talk to a lot. Lightspeed is someone we talk to a lot. If you send us links, we can join you and you can friend each other. And when streams go live, you can actually go in there. And when the stream is active, this is one of the things they talked about on the 45-minute onboarding call is you can actually have your friends integrated, kind of like the chat's going right now. And the more people that are active and doing it, the more you get to the top of the feed of like things in their For You page. So does that make sense for everybody? So you want to build a community around your page and your brand on there, and literally you just go. So let's see, Alex, can you have an auction where he does random draws from his Pokemon collection and blasts them with a laser?
Yikes.
I will burn this Charizard for $150, like just to watch kids die on the inside.
I think I would die on the inside. That would hurt me, man. That
I would
hurt
totally
me more than it would anybody in the
burn cards. I'd be like Pikachu, more like Pikaboom.
My whole entire YouTube channel over there is dedicated to like preserving and archiving the entirety of like the print lines of Pokemon cards. I can't go over there and
the first word in his Pokemon archivist thing is restoration.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, so
restore this.
Lightspeed is like a well of knowledge already. Damn it, Lightspeed, you know everything. He said you really need to start your auctions. They did talk about this too. So the 12 to 13%, plus there's a 30-cent transaction fee.
That was part of the onboarding, yeah.
Which is really helpful because they said if you're selling stuff for $1, you're gonna think like 30% of my money is gone, and you're right. It's actually like 50% of your money, right?
Selling $1 items just isn't feasible because right out of the gate, if you're buying your thing on Whatnot and Stripe is processing a transaction or PayPal or anybody else, there's an infinite number of payment processors. 30% of that in the form of the 30-cent per transaction fee is getting pulled regardless of the cost of the item. And then you have transaction fees on top of that. So
Lightspeed had a good point here. So if you're going to sell those kind of files, down here in the chat, he said best to bundle. So it's considered one item. So that way you could put like 5 files together and call it like the Valentine's Day bundle. And then you've got a $5 item where you're only getting hit for 30 cents on that item, right? So that's actually a really smart way to do that kind of thing, so that you have those little $1 items, put them together. And, you know, people might want 3 out of the 5, but still that's kind of how it works a lot of times. So
another really good point.
Real quick question. It's kind of off topic. We'll let the chat catch up to where we are here. Gretch said was buying parts for my guitar and they had sheets of abalone for inlays. Is it laser? I think abalone is mother of pearl, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever done it?
I have. Yeah.
I know you can, but it takes some testing.
The problem with mother of pearl is that it's very white. And white stuff is white because it's reflecting all of the wavelengths of light back into your eye. That typically includes laser wavelengths. Of course, you'll find exceptions to that. That's a blanket statement. A common exception is UV, right? UV is going to do a much better job absorbing, being absorbed into something like mother of pearl. But as far as like infrared goes, I think you're going to see a lot of reflection, which means you're going to require a high power density in order to mark that material. So whether you're either throwing a lot of wattage downrange, which is people's typical answer to that problem, or you are using something with a very small dot size, perhaps a diode laser, for example, in the visible light spectrum, those two things are going to do much better than, just kind of like any kind of general setup, like a vague setup.
Alex did a guitar inlay.
I did.
once.
Yeah, that's true. That was
Wasn't
cut.
that the one that you hated? Like,
Yeah, so we engraved the fretboard super deep, and then we cut the inlay out of I think it was like a synthetic mother of pearl, like acrylic or something like that. Go watch the stream for specifics. But then we had to inlay that acrylic into the guitar neck. It was very difficult. But the point is high reflection. So you want a small focused dot size or a lot of power to deal with something like that.
couple of corrections real quick. Miranda told me it's a baloney. So there you go. It's a baloney. I'm sure I know it's abalone, fine,
Abalone.
but it's still fun to just say it's a baloney.
It's a baloney.
So Lightspeed was saying another thing too. You can use toothpaste to coat the rocks and etc., and it works great.
Interesting.
To kind of put like a coating on there. So that's pretty cool. To I guess to kind of block some of the reflectiveness, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, Miranda put a link in chat. I think that's for when
That
you
was
did
the
your
live
inlay.
stream.
Oh, that was the. Oh, okay. All right. So yeah. So anyways, a lot of really neat stuff on there, and hopefully, I know it's kind of taken like half of the stream, like 40 minutes of the stream. But honestly, I kind of just wanted to brainstorm with people. Like my whole thing was like, I told Alex about it. I thought it was cool. He's like, we got to tell more people, and then because I feel like that's one of those things where like. The more I thought about it, like the more people who are doing lasering stuff, like all boats rise kind of a thing, you know, like we're letting in because like the more people who know about it, the more people who search for it, the more people who search for it, the more they see. And then that's something that becomes something where people go to get those things. Kind of like I think Vince had said his wife sells, you know, as soon as they started doing clothing items there.
A base.
Yeah, like a base for people to come. And then it's like they were struggling and then it's just going up the charts there.
I definitely think we could be the community that creates a base for this on Whatnot. And like we can generate this demand just by providing content. And this is something I know very much about, is just making content. And that's what the proposal is here, is that you guys would be creating content with your laser machines to bring that community and those consumers to this established platform that's in the middle of being really successful right now.
So Anthony had a good idea. Beam It Up Laserworks, Anthony from our Discord and our LMA, said doing a chat voted project like Kyle used to do and then auctioning it live might be a killer idea. That's one thing to talk about. You need to listen and pay attention when you're on that onboarding thing, because Alex wasn't listening to half of the stuff during the call until they got to the part with the rules. Well, because it was like, here's how you use OBS. If you've never heard of it, and Alex was like, OBS, oh, baloney. You get it? Oh, baloney. So anyways,
that was too much.
That was perfectly placed. That was a wonderful thing. But yeah, I think Anthony's onto something, dude. Like doing a project. That's exactly what I told Kyle, by the way. I was like, you should make some, knives. Hey. So knives and weapons, they have very strict rules about.
Actually, I looked, they're not that strict. It's just like no switchblades. You can't have like shurikens, you know, like.
Oh, like things that are hidden weapons. Like, because
that's
all considered.
I mean, things that are banned in many states.
Yeah.
Well, those are considered concealed weapons. Like you have to have a permit for like a switchblade and stuff in Florida.
Detailed design, like butterfly knives, gravity knives, shit like that you can't sell. But like regular knives that people would have engraved.
If Florida requires you to have a permit for it, then that's pretty serious. So
I think like this is where I would start if it was me. I would get like something I have a lot of. Pint glasses, tumblers, knives is a great example. Windproof lighters, patches, whatever.
Just patches.
Something I have a pile of patches. I would come up with like 30 designs that make something that people like, think popular things, like do a design with like a dolphin, and then do a design with like stars, and then do a design with like planets, right? Just things that people like, and start marking through them on your laser during the live. And during the process of the marking, auction the thing that is being marked off and then move on to the next design. It creates some scarcity, which I think will help you sell some stuff, right? We're doing one of these planets today. right? We're doing the one planet design. And then when the planet design is done, that's it. And you'll have to wait for another stream to get another thing with the planet design. Okay, we're moving on. We're moving on to the dolphin one now. If you want one of these things with the dolphin one on it, this is the one. And people, because people can buy things live while they are watching the stream, you can even offer customizations
Like
there
on the spot
to the people watching.
And you
the
have
streams.
2 days to get it done after the stream and put into a box, because you have to generate the thing and prove postmark by
I don't even
48
think
hours.
I don't even think it would take that. I'm suggesting it happens there live.
Yeah.
You know, so like if Michelle wants a cat, you know, bracelet, then you're engraving bracelets that day. You know, Michelle can say, hey, can you throw Michelle on that somewhere? And you're like, done. And you throw, because you are good at light burn, you toss Michelle into the design and you run it, you mark it, right? Because she knows you're working on the planet one and the cat one is coming up. She checks out on your whatnot store for the cat one for that day. And then her turn comes up, you've already got it prepped because she bought one of the ones you haven't done yet. And then you're doing that one live. And while that one's marking, you're selling the next 10 down the line. And you sit there for 3 hours.
And you talk about what you're doing. Hey, guys, if you're just joining, you know, we're making the next bracelet. We're making this one for Laura. And she bought a cat necklace.
And you don't have to talk about it like we do. You don't have to be like, this is the, you know, infrared laser beam in the 10,600 nanometers. So like, you don't have to do that. Just put on a show. It's a laser. Oh my God. You know, like it's big and loud and look at all these cool noises it makes. People love that crap and they're watching their stuff get made custom live. I don't know. That's what gets me excited about this platform is that it's easy enough to set up. Yes, pay attention to onboarding or pay someone to show up and listen to the onboarding for you. As Miranda is saying here, don't be like me where I didn't pay attention. But in my case, I did have someone I paid to show up and listen for me and take notes, which she did a great job of. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, well, and that's it. And like, I literally took the notes for today because I was like, and also while we were doing the live, I said, hey, while the live is happening, I think one of the biggest things for Alex to figure out is he was using OBS, and here's what's really cool. So luckily, Alex knows how to do all this crap. I don't. Like, I'm not an expert on OBS, but I can finagle it and I can kind of work it in if I needed to figure out that. But it's going to take me. I think it took Alex 5 minutes during the live stream to like put it all together, how it's supposed to look. And he made this really cool layout on his screen. But what's really nice is they have an FAQ media center. So that it's not like an FAQ with text. Like they literally have videos linked for you ready to go. So it's like, how do I set up streaming on my computer? And you click it and they have like a 25-minute video kind of walking you through the steps of how to use OBS to do better streams, which I thought was really cool. The website, by the way, so the question here is, do we have a website? Do we have to have a website? No. You're selling through their platform. That's their website. It's almost like an Etsy.
Think of it as a marketplace platform.
Yeah, it's like going on.
You're treating them as a website for you.
Right. The one thing that I don't know, and I don't want to discourage you from doing anything, David, absolutely sign up and give it a try. The one thing I don't know is how much the information you provide them during the application process weighs on whether or not your application is accepted. And I don't know what their acceptance rate is like. It could be like 99%, you know, but if you didn't have a website or didn't have some kind of existing online presence, like maybe that would affect your chances of having your application. I'm totally just making shit up right now. Yeah, I'm completely spitballing. This is based on nothing other than just like playing devil's advocate and thinking of potential problems.
So real quick, I'm going to say that I don't think there is. So because Beam It Up is asking, is there a follower requirement?
We didn't see anything like that.
Now, and the reason I say I don't think there is such a big emphasis on it, I don't have followers. I don't have a website. I work for Alex and with Kyle, but I just put in my seller stuff and I'm on there, you know, like, so they literally like, hey, we'll see you soon.
Did you schedule your onboarding yet?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
tomorrow
nice.
or the day after or something.
Yeah,
I
good,
got to
good.
look back.
Yeah, that's
but
true. They did
Lightspeed,
accept your application right away.
yeah, Lightspeed said I use my phone to show the product and my laptop to actually do the show pending the auction. So Lightspeed, you're on there, man. What do you think about that? Do you feel like it was a pretty quick turnaround from when you turned in your application to actually getting approved to be a seller? Because to me, it would make sense that there is not, because that's how they make their money, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I just like the thing that's killing me right now is that when I type in laser engraved,
I saw a few things, but not a ton.
I literally, there's nothing live happening right now. Maybe this. I don't know what this is. Let's see. All right, so it looks like there's a knife on screen, and are we engraving things right now? I don't know. Or are we just selling knives? Knife
Follow
in
'em.
hand,
Follow 'em.
disregard, class 1 shipping. Knife on screen, shipping class 2. I don't know what those are. I think she's just selling knives. And that's it. So these aren't even being engraved.
Well, but they might make knives is what it is. They might be a knife maker.
Yeah, and then this one obviously and clearly features a bunch of laser cut stuff, but I haven't been able to catch this channel live yet. And I've been trying to.
Like 2 weeks in advance.
I've been trying to. Yeah.
Okay, Fred asked this, or kind of gave us this info. It said there used to be 1,000 follower minimum, but I think they dropped it. Yeah, they definitely did, because Alex did a live stream today. He turned in his paperwork yesterday.
Yeah, and remember, we didn't do this with, they don't know Laser Everything exists. I set this up as the Pokemon Archivist. It's a channel on YouTube with, no joke, like 66 subscribers.
Yeah.
Not 6,600, not 66,000, 66.
It's Alex's cousins and aunts and uncles.
Yeah, for real.
And us.
There's absolutely no following on that channel whatsoever. We don't have hardly any social media set up. I think the TikTok account associated with it, which I didn't provide at the time of application, has like 3 followers, and then that's it. So as far as they know, I'm just like an absolute nobody.
So here's where Lightspeed, thank you so much for like sharing information, man, because this is where it's great to have somebody who is more of a veteran than us. We were just so excited. Like, I wish we had better information like firsthand, but we just wanted to get it out there to show people like this is really cool.
And we're going to follow up with more.
Oh yeah. Like, I'm going to go on here. I think Kyle was talking about doing like what Anthony said, doing like a cool, like,
it's not going to be an immediate thing, but I do plan on getting on there.
And here's what's really nice, to go with what Kyle said and what Alex and everybody's been saying. This is not a place where people go to window shop a lot. They pretty much have to put in their debit and credit card information for the payments. And so, the way it worked for you to get your money. So this was the last probably like key thing that I think was important that most people would want to know about. You have 2 days to ship. Then they said it usually can take anywhere from 3 to 6 days to ship, because most people are shipping at like the $3.50 to $5 thing. And so they said 3 to 6 days, and then it takes another 2 to 3 days to get your money to you. And the only way you can supersede that and not have to deal with that is if you sell 1,000 items on their platform, or you hit the $100,000 mark.
Right.
Is what they said. So that's,
I imagine that's 1,000 items while remaining in good standing.
Right. Yeah.
Shipping stuff on time.
Correct. I'm guessing they didn't say successful transactions or whatever, but I'm assuming that it wouldn't make sense if you were
if you have like dings against you, it's not going to look good.
Right. And so once you finally hit that threshold, they said as soon as you generate your shipping information, that's when you'll get instantly paid. Yep. But anyways, let's see. Off topic. Oh, hey, congratulations. Off topic, but I just ordered an SFX 50 watt JPT. Excited, learning so much from you guys. Yeah, that's a sweet one, dude.
Well, I did want to point out too that you can sell things on Whatnot that aren't part of a live at all. You don't have to be live to sell things. So there's a whole live show section, but then there's also the marketplace section where you can literally just list something and it'll just sit there on your profile.
Click on, I think Mewtwo is the one I clicked on earlier. And this is what's really
on Mewtwo. So I can buy this right now. This person isn't streaming. They're not doing anything active on the platform at the moment other than, listing items. So you can just make some stuff and list it. And people, if they stumble on your profile and you don't happen to be live, they can still see all of your listings in the marketplace. And that's where if I click this right here, Dadbot Matt, do you identify with that?
Oh my God. What? That's awesome.
Yeah. Let's see. What do I do?
So what I was going to say while he's looking at that is literally telling you guys, sometimes there are items where you can literally say that there's 5 of them and there's a buy now price and then there's like a bid or something like that. On like when you have a one item, you can leave it up for bid, like an auction for X amount of time. Another thing is if you made 5 of those items, you could say there's 5 of these in stock. Grab one.
I gotta really drive home too, guys. The mobile app experience on this is much better.
Very nice.
Than the desktop experience. I used the
like
desktop. I used the desktop. Me too. I use desktop on everything that I humanly can because I hate doing things on phones. As you saw, I closed our live stream.
The live stream.
Yeah. So I don't like doing things on phones, but the Whatnot app is substantially more user friendly and makes more sense. Like I should have been able to see all that dude's listings on mobile. I can just click his profile and all of his marketplace listings are there, but on desktop, I can't do that.
To be fair, there's also an app for Windows. And I think you're just in the internet right now.
Dude, I think it just opens like a Microsoft
Oh, okay. All right.
browser window and takes you to the website.
Let's see.
My point was like people can find your listings whether you're streaming or not, so they can always be up there selling for you, just like on any other platform like Etsy or eBay or whatever, without the live component of this being involved at all. So that's a really nice plus too.
So Fred says, I need to get lives going. I think I can move more products if I do lives. Yes, I would absolutely agree with that, because that was one of the things that they I wouldn't say preached about, but they really were pushing it in the onboarding call.
Yeah.
They literally talked about how people want interactivity. I mean, look at us. We're literally sitting here talking about a website. There's 60 people hanging out with this, which thank you, by the way. But now imagine that you could buy the thing that you liked. Because I mean, look at the numbers in front of here. Like, take a look at that where it says Trey X something cards or something. He's got 222 people watching his live. Carrie's Pokey, what is that? Pokey Muffet has like 91 people or 71 people. I mean, it's nuts.
Yeah, a lot of people are definitely.
Resin Dragon Studios back. What's up, man?
What up, Resin?
Said, I heard they have hella fees. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. If you missed it, they have like 13% is their going fee, but that's where Alex kind of said that's like eBay. Yeah, and we talked about the fee breakdown and what it covers.
eBay's actually slightly more expensive according to the math that we did earlier. Don't quote me on that, but that's just our napkin math.
The other thing is they cover shipping for you, which is really cool. Like that kind of blew me away.
You have to be a nerd for 2 seconds. These team up packs are like one of my favorite sets, and it's super. This guy's opening super old.
I know.
Super expensive cards.
How much did it cost? $650.
Yeah, $650 for 2 packs.
Oh my god. Laura said she's so afraid of going live. Here's the best part about going live. You get to control it. If you wanted to stop, Alex screwed up 3 times today.
Yeah, if you didn't notice, when I went live earlier today, I closed the live from my phone and kicked you all off of it. So
yeah, so I'm just talking about going live on here. Alex went on, and the very first thing, oh my god, do I have the picture?
Of me being the potato?
Yeah. Oh my god, it was the best.
Yeah, that was pretty
where
funny.
Was that? So Alex, so again, this is what it's supposed to look like in front of you, right? It's supposed to be this nice format of an iPhone or a smartphone device, because that's where the majority of their streamers are looking at it.
Yeah.
And Alex was like, I've got this set up. It's going to be beautiful. And we spent like an hour setting this thing up. And this is what he looked like when he popped on. Look at that freaking potato face.
Yeah.
So it was literally like all distorted and warped. Don't be afraid to go live, because people are going to mess up. They're going to be looking at this, but that's how you build a community. It's how you get to talk to people. And I think you went through 3 different lives or something like that. Yeah,
we were on like our 3rd by the time we settled and actually opened some Pokemon cards today.
Yeah. So, and then that's when, by the way, that's when it got fun.
Like, and if you want to watch that, by the way, just to get a feel of how things go and you want to hear some familiar voices, if you go to my profile on Whatnot, the Pokemon Archivist, the link in the description actually takes you to it. you can watch the stream that we did only on mobile. Again, I can't show you here because for some reason it won't let me play past streams on desktop. I don't know why. But if you go on the mobile app and you go to my profile, the Pokemon Archivist, you can actually watch the stream. It's me sitting there unpacking cards. Kyle and Matt are on Discord, and you can hear them on the headset. Another huge mess up, by the way, guys. My audio is like 20 decibels lower than both of yours. So you guys are both talking at a normal volume, and then my microphone is like super quiet. It's bizarre. So we need to fix that. But before we get off track, Laura, the other thing I wanted to mention is that you do have the ability to host private streams.
Yeah.
So you can do a stream that only people you invite can come to, which is super nice. Even if
good to like test.
Even if it's just for practicing or testing to see how it looks on your phone, if you have it set up with your computer or vice versa, and make sure that everything looks and sounds the way you want it to. It's a great way to do that, or to do this, but to a smaller group. Like if you have VIP group of customers you want to offer something special to.
Yeah. Another thing too is you can have moderators in your chat. So that's why I was trying to say, like, our community, you guys know each other. So like Laura talks to Richie all the time in here, and Vinny and all these people who work, and Jack in the shop. I mean, everybody's here. You can get each other's names, follow each other, and say, hey, can you come help moderate my show if you've got time today?
Yeah.
Like that's one of those things. Like Kyle and I were literally talking to the chatters. And by the way, I think there was only 2 people who said anything in our chat the entire hour and 15 minutes that we went live.
2.
And that's what it's expected that's going to happen.
Yeah.
One person asked, are you selling this stuff?
That was fine with us because we had literally no idea what we were doing.
And
like,
no
I literally
expectation.
just hit the go live button and I kept doing it until
look at the bid in front. Sorry to stop you, but look, bids. So this guy is auctioning something right now.
Yep, it's going up.
It started at $1 and it's already up to 38, 44.
Yep.
And that's what Lightspeed had just said. So he said people can also pre-bid on items. Oh, that's the really cool thing. You can create a shop for the stream ahead of time. So if you, let's say, like you had those cups already made, like this one I was showing you guys earlier.
Oh, shit. They bid.
Oh,
I already got
idiot.
outbid. I'm going to do it again. Oh,
accident my ass.
Don't do it, Alex.
Miranda, you're
Don't do it.
By the way, everybody, Miranda is going to come down those steps in a minute and beat his
Alex,
ass.
Click it again.
We're not allowed to buy things on stream. Stop
I don't
it.
even know what I'm bidding on.
Stop it.
We're not allowed to buy things on stream.
No, get out of here.
Is that a real thing?
No, that's an us thing.
Oh,
Get out.
okay. I thought I was.
That's a Miranda thing. She's going to come down. You don't have to worry about the SEC. She's going to come beat your ass.
So
Man, I can't
one
believe
thing
I
I
got
do
out.
want to say is a lot of people approach us saying they want to do markets, they want to do fairs, they want to do live events. Here's a
Here you
practice one for you.
Yeah.
You can sell stuff from the comfort of your home, and it's functionally like selling stuff at a live market or a fair. Almost everyone I know has a phone with a camera on it that runs iOS or Android, which means all of those people are potential buyers, or if they're in the laser community or want to sell something, they're potential sellers. So,
Yep. And the other thing here, again, Lightspeed, thank you so much for your expertise today, man. I've watched people selling cards on 20-second auctions, and they're averaging $900 for every auction.
Yeah.
Think about a Stanley Cup that you were able to go grab before other people got it, and you can literally put this thing up there with no engraving, because I saw this the other day on Etsy. The Target, did you guys know about this? Target had the Valentine's Day limited edition Target Stanley Cup. Oh, look, he's bidding right now. Oh, my God, Alex, what are you doing? Don't do it. You're muted, ding dong. Again. Oh, okay.
okay.
It's Miranda's upstairs going, Alex, I'm going to beat your ass. So anyways, what ends up happening is, like, I mean, imagine you were able to grab one of those. People literally, they opened the door. They filmed this on, I think it was like in Cleveland, Ohio. They had the camera crew in the middle, and they opened the 2 side entrances, and people were like sprinting to get to these cups. So imagine if you were able to grab 1 or 2 of those. I think they limited it to like 2 per person. And then you could, like, on air, buy the cup ahead of time and do an engraving, or just sell the damn cup. You know, like, hey, I have a 10-minute thing. One of the rules, though, you do have to have a ceiling. Like, you have to have a buy it now price. I think is what they were saying in the onboarding. Alex, was that a thumbs up on that one?
Oh,
If
I
you
was not listening at all, so it turns out that I
Oh.
totally bought those Pokemon cards by accident.
by accident, my ass.
It was totally by
You so-
accident. It wasn't like the $300 one, but now I have two bust packs of Team Up on the way to me, apparently.
Oh no, what an accident. I fell into it.
Oh, I fell into my chair.
This is
and
like
fell
that
on
lady.
my
Have you seen
mouse.
those like the Instagrams where the girls like had an accident studying and she like slips and then falls into like the Netflix is doing and she's got a glass of wine with some chocolate.
Oh my God, Miranda just DM'd me. She said, "You better not have bought that $650 card." I didn't. It was like $40.
It was only 200. Dude, we saw you hit 52, you liar.
No, that one I didn't win. I won the next one.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Anyway, he ripped the packs open. This is why it's so addicting, guys. So I feel like it's important to be like, I saw this live action or not. Where can we bid on Kyle's jacket?
Nice.
I feel like there's probably some fun way to kind of like gamify a bit your engraving experience that you're presenting to viewers on the platform. Like, I did not want to look away. I really wanted to click that bid button. It just gets you all juiced up, you know? Like, I feel like there's a way that we can provide that as engravers to an audience to make it like really exciting, where you don't know what's going to happen and you want to participate in that, you know? And I don't know what that is. I don't have the specific answer. Again, we've only been looking into this for 3 days, but it's something that has me excited.
And by the way, Willie, Laser to Leather, in case you guys don't know Willie, good guy, asked how long did it take to get approved for this yesterday. So Alex put the paperwork, or not paperwork. I mean, you literally log in. It says, do you want to be a buyer or a seller? Yeah, the application. Thank you. He clicked seller. It took you like 10 minutes to turn in the stuff that you got to turn in. And then they shot him an email saying, hey,
so
tomorrow you're going to onboard.
Actually applying took like no more than like 3 minutes. And then they accepted my application like 3 hours later. And then an hour after that, I got an email asking me to schedule my onboarding, which they sent a link via Calendly. It took 3 minutes to schedule via Calendly. You just pick like a day and a time slot. And then the actual onboarding event, once it started, there was something available the very next day. So I applied on Monday. I signed up for the slot on Tuesday. That was today. And then after that onboarding event, that 45 minutes had passed, Matt watched me do it. I took 35 seconds to fill out their little like exit survey, and our live access was instituted moments later.
I will say too, what was really nice that Alex also skipped was they had a Q&A for people who, like, Alex already had the stream, like he knew what he's doing with OBS. You know, he's got the camera, he's got the audio, he does this for a living.
I have a background in this.
But if you're somebody like Laura who was just saying, I'm so afraid to go live, I'm pretty sure that guy was going to sit there for another like 10 or 15 minutes answering as many questions as he could. Yeah. So, but I agree with what Miranda said. The worst part is like that anticipation, that anxiety, you know, oh God, this is going to go terrible. And if it does, laugh it off and start over. Because a few minutes ago, I don't remember where it was, but Lightspeed said, here it is. People don't care if you screw up. It's a really friendly and helpful environment. I mean, so far, nobody gave us crap for the 2 failures we had. On the third one, everybody was like, hi. And then Willie, sorry about he said he's a triple X knucklehead. Triple X knucklehead. His water burst, frozen, his pipes burst.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's
not awesome. Sorry,
so anyways, let's see. I have 5 kids and my wife works weekends. Markets are out of the question right now, so this could be amazing. Yeah, and that's what Kyle was saying.
Yeah.
When we started talking about this as a group, because Kyle got in, I think last night, all 3 of us were kind of sitting here, because even Kyle was like, what the hell is Whatnot?
Well, it's just like bring the market to you. You know? And because at the market, the whole thing that makes the market magical is that you get to sit there, you get to present your craft, you get to showcase your skills, and, you know, display that for people to take in. And then they're looking at the products that you have on the table, and they look up and they see you at the machine crafting them there at the market. And that is something that really can't be duplicated until you come to something like this. And then all of a sudden, this gives you a digital front where you get to set that up and display that craft to people. And I think that increases your odds of making a sale exponentially.
Okay, so this is interesting. Lightspeed said it took him 2 days to get approved, but some people they have to wait months. Weird. So Resin said the Stanley Cup stuff is unreal. Us in Cleveland, Ohio are crazy. And that's where Miranda said, I noticed they all seem to be wearing the same outfit. And Anthony said, yep, a bunch of Uggs and yoga pants in that video.
Don't forget the North Face jackets.
Oh, yeah. So let's see. How do we tag the auctions to attract people? That was one of the things that I thought was weird. Alex, you did that today.
Yeah, so again, disclaimer, huge disclaimer note along like the top of the video here. I've been doing this for like 12 hours at best. And so I am not 100% sure on this answer yet. And I'm not really in a place to give out advice. But in the section where it asked you for video tags, I could only choose one tag at a time, and I couldn't type any additional tags, like my own tags, in. Again, I was running this stream off of a desktop computer because we had multiple cameras.
Discord running.
Now, what I could have done easily, and probably should have done, is built the live in my phone. So when you schedule the live, it asks you a bunch of questions. And I should have set that up in my phone and then saved it, because maybe the process would have been different. And that's actually a question I can answer very, very soon. If I add this back to the stage, don't worry, I'm not going to click the button again. That's way too expensive.
Get away from that fucking yellow button, dude. Get away from it.
I have self-control, believe it or not.
No, you don't.
Hush. If I wanted to do a live, I'm going to go to, let's just take a look at my profile here. And
is it going to display your stream key or
maybe
something?
I forget whatnot. Is it going to display what?
I don't think there was a stream key.
I don't think there is a stream key.
It just said like go live now.
Yeah, so we'll go to schedule a show here, and we give it a title. So streaming the Pokemans, and then you pick a date, you pick a time. It can literally start in 5 minutes. So I can do 10:24 p.m. if I wanted to. You choose a category. So I'm going to pick Pokemon cards. If I try to pick something else, it's forcing me to pick one here. So see, I can only pick one of these options, and I'm going to hit done. And then add tags to your live stream. And this is where I feel like I should be able to select multiple, and I can if I choose their popular tags. But if I click see all tags here, let me just do it the right way. So there's Pokemon. Well, I guess now it's letting me select more than one. This was not, you guys saw this was not working from the shop. And I don't know.
Yeah.
No, there was something going on. That was
but you can't.
Well, it might be because maybe you kind of broke a threshold by doing a couple of lives. You never know.
Yeah. So I would pick like Pokemon and anime. I mean, it seems really straightforward.
But you cannot generate, by the way, you cannot generate your own tags.
Yeah, there seems to be no ability for me to add tags to this.
And the only conjecture that we have, like the only thought that all of us could kind of come up with is that probably helps to streamline their metadata, you know? Yeah. Like, how do we show this? Because if I could generate whatever, maybe I call it laser Pokemon, and you call it laser engraved Pokemon, and someone else just calls it laser engraving wood. And so all these different things are going on. And for metadata, for them to be able to focus it all to one spot and to get those people to you, which is their whole goal, because remember, they're making 13% off of whatever you sell. So they want your face in front of people selling things. Yep. So that's kind of how we think that's going on.
Matt mentioned earlier too, you can add moderators. So this is where I would come in and I would actually add Kyle and Matt, and now Kyle and Matt can moderate my chat for me. So following back the people that you know from like maybe the Laser Everything community or somewhere else, so they can help moderate your chat when you're live, is a great option. And I'll continue on this if you want to pull up that question real quick.
And I was going to say, this is actually, I meant to show this. Laura said, you guys give me confidence that I can do anything. Thanks for making me feel like I can take on the world.
You can do it, Laura.
And Gulf Coast said, Laura, if you want to practice before you actually go live for the people, you can set up a private thing and I can give you feedback. And that's what we're talking about, like help other makers. Because I really do feel like this is one of those all ships will rise kind of situation. The more people who think about this and know about this, and then start sharing it on socials too, like, hey guys, gonna be doing some lives today. Cause this is, if you have a group on Facebook or if you do that kind of thing, this is where you might be working. And so here's what I see, by the way. So Laura, on your first one, do what Alex did today. He sold nothing. The whole point of his show, if you go look at it, it says getting to know the community. And literally he was just like, hey guys, we're not selling anything today. We just wanted to chat with you and get to know you. And you can kind of see what we're here for. And so anyone who watches that video, he basically tells like, we are going to sell some stuff, but this isn't like a way that I'm trying to make $1 million. This is just a hobby, like a side hobby. And that might be, so that the cool thing is you could be making laser engraved items that you're already making and just go live. Right. Yeah. And the nice thing is someone might see something, you can actually create items on the spot, like on the computer. And I think on the phone too, you can create items
while you're live. You can actually click like make a new listing and create a listing for a viewer while you're live streaming.
And so that's again where Lightspeed is absolutely right. You have to stay organized for this or you're going to have a mess. This is where Alex might have a clue. It says, do you know how someone can leave a name to be lasered on a product if you put an item for sale in a whatnot storefront? I was in the back. Well, no, like this cup, for example, like the thing that I said. So the guy buys it from you. How do you know what name they want on it? Because it might be Alex who buys it, but he's buying it for Kyle.
Well, so the Pokemon card pack that I actually just bought by accident.
It's like a note in it.
As soon as I bought it, the guy was like, "Oh, yo, Pokemon Archivist, do you want to rip or ship?" So he was asking me live in the moment, do I want him to rip the pack open and show the cards on stream, or do you want me to leave the pack closed and just mail them to you like that? And I typed in chat, I was like, rip it. And he ripped it. He was like, yeah,
no wonder he muted us. He's like, everybody shut up.
He was like, shh. So he was like, yeah, let's go. And he ripped it open. I mean, you could easily do that just in chat right there. They can just boom. You're like,
hey, what's the name you want on this cup?
Yeah, thank you so much for that purchase. I really appreciate it. What name did you want on this cup? And then you just find that person. This is where having moderators really helps too, to monitor that chat, while you're working, because you are working with a laser.
Take notes. Have somebody take notes. You take notes. Make sure there's a note.
Yeah. Absolutely. So Willie was asking the same question again here. He just said, when I take my trailer to competitions, because he does all the leather work. That's why he's called Laser 2 Leather.
Yep.
He said people come up and they start talking to him. And that's but that's how custom work works. Like I literally have so many people who just send me messages all the time. Hey, can you do aluminum? Hey, can you do leather? Hey, could you do a picture? Hey, and so that's all it is. That's why it would be really smart too to have a moderator if you could, someone who's willing to help you, and maybe that's a quid pro quo situation where if they help moderate yours, you can help moderate theirs, kind of a thing, and you guys could schedule that together. Lightspeed was just talking about, I take my F1 to craft shows and people flock to watch laser. Yep, they've never. It's to a lot of people, it's just like a looking behind the curtains kind of thing. Like, whoa, this is how the magic happens.
Another thing you can do too, if you want to potentially help avoid confusion, if you have a lot of people asking for a lot of custom stuff and you're having trouble keeping people straight, rather than listing all the individual items for the stream, you can say, I have 10 of these things. If you want a custom one, tell me what name you want.
Yeah.
And put custom tumbler and then name that the person put in chat, and that person can buy that cup out of your listings.
I mean,
and then you know exactly who it's going to and what's going on.
Which is super cool. People will do stuff in batches. So I've seen people with literally what is it when you seal the paper in plastic?
Shrink wrap. Shrink wrap?
No, not shrink wrap. Laminate.
Shrink wrap.
They're laminated papers. Shrink wrap. What the fuck are you talking about?
Laminate your face.
They get a laminated sheet of paper and a dry erase marker, and all the laminated sheet of paper has on it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and that's it. And then at the top in dry erase, they'll write Black Yeti Tumbler, and then for 1 through 10, they're just going to put the customizations and the username of the person, right? So it'll be like Best Goat Boy 01, and then they want Matt, and then they'll really fill out 1 through 10 all the way down the list, and then they'll start engraving. And while those 10 are engraving, they will take out another dry erase sheet, and they'll start doing, 1 through 10 again for the second batch. And then they're just kind of moving them through like that. And they've got a continual list with the product, the username, which again, it all links up in the seller hub in the back end of this. And we'll have to do tutorials on this stuff. I'm happy to do some.
Well, yeah, we're
tutorials on it,
definitely going to play with this some more.
It all links up on the back end, so you can see the username with the label that they're providing via USPS, and you know where it's going to be shipped and when. And it's very, very easy to do. It's very easy to do for sure.
All right. And speaking of batch work and moving along, we're hitting an hour, and we already had 22 minutes on the other
I
stream.
have so much more. I'm not done talking about this.
Oh my God. But that's why I feel like we need to like do it more.
Yeah.
So we can actually say more.
Yeah.
Because right now it's just us
I'm
kind of
glad that we did
conjecturing.
get to do a little bit of it today. I feel like we can talk about it with a little authority rather than just being like
Bye,
completely
Willie.
blind. Later, Willie. But yeah, guys, I feel like I think this is a big thing.
Well, I'm excited to see too, not only what we can get in the next week before like next Tuesday or whenever we talk about this next time, but like you just saw, like Laura wants to jump in. Anthony's saying he might give it a shot. Lightspeed's already over there. Lightspeed, by the way, if you can do you mind sharing your
Nah, Anthony
name?
said application pending. I'm in.
Yeah,
He's
in.
totally in. Yeah.
What I'm saying.
Deep
So
dive.
that's one of those things where like, I mean, what's the worst that happens? You do a live and no one shows up and nothing happened. Like
Nothing happens.
so anyways, that was it. And I just know it's 10:30 and I feel like most people, yeah, like even I'm tired.
Yeah. Well,
I'm an old man.
I'm gonna just obsess over this some more. I think there's something here. I think this would be really big for us, and I want to kind of rally the Laser Everything community together and get people over here.
Well, but that's it. It's just hype, right? That's the thing.
I'm totally hyped. Yeah, Laura gets it.
So Greg said, "Glad I showed up tonight." Awesome.
Cool. Glad you showed up too, Greg. Thanks for watching.
Lightspeed said, "What's ASMR?" So like, there's a whole thing going on in the chat. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
And
I won't.
the answer's in the chat.
Yeah, even Vinny said, "I'm interested."
Yeah,
So-
well, the nice thing is it doesn't really cost anything to just sign up. I mean, it didn't even cost any money to apply.
Well-
I don't think I've spent a cent on this until I bought that Pokemon card by accident.
Okay. By the way, what's funny too is I know Vinny does not like to be like pictures. He's like, because he was telling me, he's like, I hate pictures. We were chatting about it one day. The cool thing is you don't have to be in it. It can literally be focused on your fiber, and they just hear your voice talking.
Yeah,
Which
I
is what
could
most people who are doing the card shows.
Soothing voice in the
because you
background.
were asking, and again, go watch my stream I did earlier today with the guys.
Just for an idea.
There's a link down in the description. It's very easy to get to my profile, the Pokemon Archivist, and you can see I've got 2 camera views, a zoomed in and a zoomed out of the table that take up 95% of the screen.
And then his
And
face.
then way teeny tiny up in the corner, it wasn't even my face. It was like a shot of my back at the table with the table around me, so you could see the cards on the table while I was handling them. And that took up like a 5% corner up in the top, and that was it. So you really don't even have to be on it. I could have nixed that over the shoulder shot too, and just had the table top down, and that would have been fine. So I mean,
Yeah. And that's what most people do. And again, these last 2 comments, and then so Resin Dragon Studio said it's interesting, something to consider because Etsy is so saturated. Yup. And then the other thing is the TikTok. I just got my TikTok started, but I got to get my stuff where eyeballs are. What's really interesting is TikTok again. So Etsy super saturated, and it's a lot of effort to put in all those listings and do all that stuff, and then have someone copy it, sell it for $2 less, and that you just got screwed out of all that. And then on TikTok, the other thing that people are frustrated about is they don't want to give all of their banking and social security information and private information to another country. You know, some people just really are against that because TikTok is like, I don't know, people have some issues with
I
it.
think, and
There are
again,
states that have tried banning TikTok.
can't confirm
Yeah.
or deny this, but I think Whatnot is Canadian.
No, what? I literally told you that it's based out
LA
of Los
or
Angeles. You
Oh,
go-
the Los Angeles.
I spent like 5 minutes
I
talking
missed
about
that.
it.
I only know that thought that because they have a whole section on their website about collecting
do
and
about
remitting
Canadians.
Canadian taxes.
So that was one of the things that they talked about in the onboarding session too. Like, if you're one of the Canadians that slipped in because it happened, we need to chat with you before you leave. And it was like, ooh,
yeah,
they're gonna send a Mountie over.
And Nicholas is asking, I am in Argentina. Does this platform have potential for intercontinental or international customers?
Or
Yes.
just the USA.
We did this very quickly. But from what I skimmed through on that, I believe that is the case, though there are special shipping considerations as to be expected.
Yeah,
so
and that's where I feel like it'd be good to kind of call it here, because like there's so much to learn, but I just feel like this is a really neat thing. So
so we will be back, guys. Expect far more coverage on this. I'm very, very excited about it. I think we could all have a lot of fun together. Link up with me, follow me. I will follow you back. We can hang out. We can talk lasers. We can figure out what to do for your stream, come up with some fun, like live games to entice customers. I mean, like, I want to work on all that kind of stuff. I'm really jazzed.
You can follow me too over there. I'm Mr. Pew. MRPEW.
Mr. Pew.
I tried to put Mr. Pew Pew, which is my Discord name, but they were like, nah. Yeah.
Somebody had it already.
Somebody else had it. Yeah.
What a turn.
And you guys can find me on the Pokemon Archivist. I'll do a one for Laser Everything at some point, but you guys know me. I've got 8 million things to do, and I don't know. So I'll probably just use this account as an example.
What's your name on that? Gnome Toss?
Gnome Toss. Tossing gnomes. That's all I've got for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching or listening to this episode of the Laser Source Podcast.
Stay safe.
Sorry to cut the stream in half on you in the middle. That was my bad.
I also accidentally bought some Pokemon cards for $1,000.
I accidentally fell into a new Camaro and I brought it home, and then I bought a jet, and then now I'm the president. So yeah, just listen. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. And do all the stuff. Go down in the description, click all the links, leave a comment. Tell me what excites you about this platform, or why you're still skeptical in a comment after the show is over. I want to hear about it. I'm looking forward to seeing your responses, and we will see you in the next one. Good night, everybody. Happy anniversary, Kyle.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.